Top of the hour, let's continue to get you the updates. As Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is in Sydney in the last leg of his three-nation tour, as the Prime Minister who arrived in Australia late on Monday, and today he has a busy day ahead of him. He is engaging with the Australian CEOs, while individual meetings with business leaders are also lined up. He will also be interacting with a select group of Australian influencers. In the afternoon, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be attending a community event where he will be addressing the Indian diaspora. In his bilateral with the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, where a wide-ranging discussions that are likely to take place, including on the issue of recent anti-India propaganda and vandalization of religious places that often have been reported from different parts of the country.
Is this secession movement of Khalistan kind of dangerous for Australia as it is for India? What are the security aspects or the sharing of information with Australia going on, and how important it is for Australia to understand where it is going?
I've clearly mentioned to you that it would be not correct for me not to prejudge in any way what the two leaders discuss. But I have also mentioned to you that insofar as questions relating to harmony and safety and security of our two societies, they have always been discussed, periodically been discussed between the two systems. How those talks are positioned between the two leaders, we will brief you in detail after those talks are over.
Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who gave an interview to the Australian newspaper in which he spoke about taking India-Australia ties to a next level by identifying new areas of complementariness and also expanding cooperation. Apart from seeking a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reiterated greater cooperation and defence and also on the security matters.
He has a very substantive round of bilateral discussions with Prime Minister Albanese. We'll be following up on discussions that went on when Prime Minister Albanese was in India 2 months ago in March. We expect some outcomes and announcements that I'm sure the media will hear about going forward. The relationship between India and Australia is very, very strong. It's been developing very rapidly in the last few years. And with Prime Minister Albanese, he's already met him 5 times. I think this will be the 6th time when he meets him after reaching Australia. They've done the Quad Leaders Summit as well, twice together. They've met in Bali, they've met in Delhi, they've met in various places, in Tokyo even earlier. So the relationship has developed extremely well.
All right, so when he arrived there in Sydney late on Monday, there was an enthusiastic crowd of the Indian diaspora, made it a point to give a warm welcome to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who they describe as an inspiring force for India's betterment.
So it's a patriotic song called Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata. Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata, Jayati Jayati Bharata Mata, Buddha Gita Nikhila Mata Vana Nirata Nata Jana Suhita, Jayati 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 Bharat Mata Ki Jai. My name is Soumya Shah. I am from India. I'm from Ahmedabad in Gujarat, and I'm very excited to see you.
Modi, 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 Modi. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
मोदी जी को बस यही बोलेंगे जो काम कर रहे हैं वो करते रहें. इतना अच्छा काम तो देश के लिए कर रहे हैं वो. मोदी, मोदी, मोदी. 10 महीने की बेटी है जिसको हम लेके आए हैं मिलाने के लिए.
I believe we have Prajakta joining us live from Sydney. Good morning to you, Prajakta. It's around 8:04 a.m. here in India, but I believe it's almost the time when we are looking at the official engagements there to begin in Australia. Can you give us the live updates, please?
Yes, good afternoon. It's a bright sunny day here today. I'm at the Kudos Bank Arena, which is supposed to be the largest indoor arena in Sydney and 4th largest with a capacity of 21,000 people. But if you see the crowd here, people coming from all over Australia, to see Prime Minister Modi ji, it's still going to fall short. And I think Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese had expressed this doubt to PM Modi when he was in Japan and said that managing a crowd of this huge crowd would be a big challenge for Australia. People are coming here. Some people have just come over without any passes or ticket, just in the hope that they will get a glance of PM Modi ji. I have Savita with me, who is a TCS employee who has taken a leave for a day just to come here and see if she can get an entry to the venue and meet PM Modi. There are many like her who are going to get disappointed in spite of hiring a stadium of this huge capacity.
Right, but we are expecting a lot of talks and exchanges also that will be happening, Prajakta, because India and Australia, they have been sharing a very committed and a stable and secure and prosperous Indo-Pacific relationship. And there have been also the two countries playing an important role when it comes to supporting this vision.
If you can hear, there is a lot of noise behind me. I'm not able to hear you clearly, but yet regarding the talks, I hope something fruitful comes out of it and something that's mutually benefit politically, economically, financially to both the countries will emerge from these discussions.
All right, Prajakta, getting us those live updates. If you can just quickly describe to us, because the dhols that we can hear behind you, are we looking at some cultural performances as well as Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be arriving there? If you can describe the pictures behind you.
Yes, the pictures behind me are of the people who are gathered here. They're practicing what they're going to present in front of Prime Minister Modi today. Also, there are some people who, as I said, are waiting to get the tickets or entries to the venue. Prime Minister Modi ji will be coming here in the afternoon after he visits the Harris Park area. As you know, a part of Sydney, Harris Park, is going to be named as Little India today. And that's a big thing.
Absolutely.
So
I believe Little India is something that we have often seen in multiple countries where already there is a lot of, Indian community and population there. So it doesn't make the people miss their home so much. So there is a Little India that we almost witness in almost the bigger countries there. I'm told that Mr. Deepak Vora, former diplomat, is also with us. Sir, very good morning to you. What are your expectations this time around India's relations with Australia, sir?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. It's always a great pleasure to be with you on your channel, ma'am. You put it across so brilliantly. I learned from you and from the young lady who was reporting to us from Sydney. It's now 10:40 p.m. where I am in New York, and the temperature is 7 degrees Celsius. You can see the night lights behind me, but it's bright morning, as you mentioned, in Australia. What a contrast. Ma'am, may I begin by saying that the relationship between India and Australia, you can see this in Wikipedia, over 200 years old, etc., etc. 2023, it is stronger than ever before. Why? As a diplomat, I'm trained to ask this question. What do we want from each other? 2,400 years ago, the great Chanakya had said that there can be no friendship without self-interest. So what is our self-interest for both sides? Australia looks to India as burgeoning market, human resource strength, and the quest for quality education by young Indians. We want investment and technology. Australia is natural resource rich and population poor. We need natural resources to fire our relentless growth, and we are human resource rich. We both believe in freedom of the mind and of the heart. Neither likes China. It is a perfect fit. Now, you know that the kind of reception that the Prime Minister received when he landed in Sydney, etc., etc. Australia is pretty much one of the flavors of the month. In college, we used to share a naughty joke, forgive me. America is aging but still tempting. Asia and Africa are young and exciting. Europe is over the hill. Australia is down under but still has lots of charms, and that's what we are seeing now. Australia has accepted that it is an Asian rather than a European power. Having now identified its destiny, its position in the world, there is nothing that can stop the two countries from coming closer together. Shared values, shared ideas, shared commitments, and a shared destiny.
Well, Mr. Mora, as you rightly said, sir, this is like the different time zones that we are speaking, but at the same time, and well, this is all to technology that we have to give that due credit for. But, you know, Prime Minister Modi, when he spoke to the Australian Daily, the newspaper there, he said that he wants to take the relationship with Australia to the next level. Sir, what is your understanding what this next level is all about?
Narendra Modi is a legend in his lifetime. Ma'am, in New York, where I am, just a few days ago, a respected American public affairs company, you've heard of this, called Morning Consult, ranked him first among 22 world leaders with a 78% approval rating. Albanese of Australia was fourth, and Joe Biden, by the way, was seventh. The new level would mean a comprehensive strategic partnership. We already have one, but that will encompass culture, that will encompass diplomacy, it will encompass defense, trade, investment, education, what have you. We have a convergence of viewpoint on many, many global issues, including the aggressiveness of China, which is the elephant in the room with whomever we talk. We would also look for opportunities for our citizens, for best possibilities for our human resources, etc. That would be the next level. There is nothing that divides us now. There was a time when we spoke to each other, we spoke at each other, but we didn't listen. Today, when one of us speaks, the other listens very carefully. That is the quantitative change and qualitative change that has come about in our bilateral relationship.
All right, sir. I request you to please stay on with us. As the Indian diaspora, we saw the Modi chants and how they were welcoming Prime Minister Narendra Modi, you know, trying to touch his feet and getting selfies. I mean, the Prime Minister has been very popular, along with not just the Indian community, but the people that are abroad, as in when he visits different countries. We would like to play out their reactions when they met Prime Minister Narendra Modi last evening when he landed in Sydney.
What an exciting moment this is to be part of this incredible delegation going to Melbourne on the Modi Airways to welcome our dear Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has been an agent of change in a country like India that is absolutely galloping at present. What we'd love to showcase here is the diversity of the Indian diaspora here all over Australia. What we have in this group, doctors, lawyers, accountants, entrepreneurs, IT professionals. I think the capability that is in our Indian diaspora is nothing short of extraordinary. And this is the moment when I think Prime Minister Modi's visit enables us to actually showcase the contribution being made by our phenomenal diaspora.
Really very excited and looking forward to watch Mr. Prime Minister Modi live, because I have always seen his visits overseas, and there's a lot of excitement in the diaspora. So I think this is one of the greatest opportunities for all of us to experience him live, and looking forward to how this meet is going to further the India and Australia relationship.
I'm so excited to meet this world leader. He's not only the Indian Prime Minister, but he has won the heart of whole world. So now he is not just Indian Prime Minister, he is the leader of whole world. Not because of development and growth, just because he won the passion of the people.
Well, Prajakta, we have been playing out reactions, how excited the people there are to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Is that the sentiment that you're witnessing this afternoon as well in Australia? Because we are told that there will be several engagements and business talks that will be happening, and later in the day the Prime Minister will be meeting and connecting with the Indian diaspora.
Yes, hopefully the same enthusiasm and the same ethos will be reflecting all over in Australia. People are very excited. People are charmed by Prime Minister Modi ji. So hopefully something good will come out for this for both the countries.
Right. Mr. Vora, sir, can you tell us about the shared interest that India and Australia, do you believe that will be engaging in, especially when it comes to an all-inclusive Indo-Pacific? Also when it comes to strategic viewpoints, because the navies of the two countries have also been engaged in several exercises, sir.
You're absolutely right, ma'am. Let me ask a question to the millions of people who watch your show. What are the world's priorities today? The war in Ukraine is going on. It will end sooner or later. There are certain issues that predate the Ukraine conflict and will post-date it. Health is one issue. You remember the Chinese pandemic, and you know how it messed up Australia's relationship with China, because when the Australians wanted an independent international inquiry into the origins of the Chinese virus, Xi Ping Pong absolutely lost it, and his diplomats called Australia all kinds of names. They said it was chewing gum stuck to the boot of China, it was the white trash of Asia, etc. That's not how you win friends and influence people. The second issue that we all face, ma'am, today is climate change. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is just coming from a meeting with 14 Pacific Island nations. And the biggest challenge for them is rising sea levels. If it goes on global warming at the current rate, these islands will disappear. So what they need is climate resilient infrastructure and new technologies. India is in a position to give it to them. Third, the pandemic has wreaked havoc, not just in India or the developed world, but in every country. And what we now need is economic recovery, for which, ma'am, we need free and open seas. You know, it's something that we all know, that when 500 years ago the Europeans came to colonize Asia, Africa, Latin America, they didn't come by aircraft or by train or by cars. They didn't exist. They came by sea because the sea routes were free. Today, again, recovery will come through free and open seas. Then we have the issue of terrorism, and then we have new technologies. How are they to be harnessed? You're seeing what's happening in ongoing conflicts. These days, drones seem to have become more effective than conventional weapons. So all these are issues that will draw and fix the attention of the world, and India and Australia can be really global leaders in addressing these challenges. It's a partnership without limits. It's a partnership for which even the sky is not the limit.
And sir, as you mentioned, when it comes to the Ukraine war, because the Australian Prime Minister has been rejecting the suggestion that the bilateral relations would be harmed by India's refusal to criticize Russia's, Australia has always been highly critical of the country over its war with Ukraine. So we are looking at warm exchanges as far as both of the countries' prime ministers are concerned. Thank you very much, Mr. Vora. Very good night to you, sir. And thank you to you, Prajakta. Later in the day, we will be reconnecting with you with all the live updates coming in from Sydney. We will be